The massive space station horizon gleamed like a metallic jewel against the infinite darkness of space. Jay Park stood at the airlock, his small travel bag clutched tightly against his chest. Around him, creatures from a dozen different star systems moved with practiced efficiency, their exotic forms and strange languages creating a symphony of interstellar chaos. Jay was different. He was just a human, ordinary, unremarkable, with nothing special about him except his assignment as a low-level maintenance technician. His dark hair was neatly combed, his blue uniform pressed and clean, looking slightly out of place among the more elaborate alien attire. The station's primary immigration officer, a tall crystalline being named Wren, scanned Jay's documentation. With multiple translucent appendages, each movement created small rainbows of light that danced across the metallic floor. Human contract worker, maintenance sector, level 7 clearance, the being's translation device announced in a monotone voice. Jay nodded politely, trying to look confident despite feeling completely overwhelmed. This was his first interstellar assignment, and everything felt alien, which was technically true given that he was actually on an alien space station. The station itself was a marvel of engineering. Massive circular rings rotated slowly, creating artificial gravity in different sectors. Transparent sections revealed breathtaking views of distant star systems, while complex network of tubes and corridors connected various living and working spaces. Hundreds of species called this place home, each with their unique environmental requirements carefully maintained by sophisticated life support systems. As Jay walked through the main corridor, he noticed how different everyone looked. Creatures, with multiple limbs, beings that seemed to float rather than walk, others covered in scales or transparent membranes. And here he was, just a simple human, looking almost disappointingly ordinary. A group of tentacled beings passed by, their communication, a series of complex color changes and rhythmic pulsations. They glanced at Jay with what seemed like mild curiosity, then continued their conversation. He felt both fascinating and completely unremarkable at the same time. The station's gravity was slightly different from Earth's, making Jay's movements feel slightly awkward. He had trained for months to adapt to different gravitational environments, but practice was always different from actual experience. Each step required a bit more calculation, a bit more concentration. Suddenly, a loud announcement echoed through the corridor. Attention all new arrivals. Mandatory orientation begins in Sector 3, Subsection B in 15 standard minutes. The voice was neither male nor female, a neutral tone designed to be understood by multiple species. Jay checked his digital wrist translator. He had exactly 12 minutes to find his assigned living quarters and drop off his bag. The station's layout was complex, with color-coded corridors and numerical designations that seemed designed to confuse newcomers. As he navigated the twisting metallic pathways, he couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and nervousness. Thousands of light years from Earth, surrounded by beings he had only read about in scientific journals, Jay Park was about to begin the most extraordinary adventure of his life. A small robotic guide suddenly appeared beside him, its smooth metallic surface reflecting the corridor's soft blue lighting. "Greetings, human worker. Do you require directional assistance?" its pleasant voice inquired. "Yes, please," Jay responded, grateful for the help. "I need to find residential block 7, apartment 243. The robot's systems quickly processed the request. A holographic map materialized, showing the most efficient route. Jay followed the glowing blue line, his heart racing with anticipation. Little did he know that his arrival would soon become the most unexpected and bizarre event in the station's recent history. The aliens around him had no idea what was about to unfold, a story that would challenge their understanding of human biology, adaptability, and sheer unexpected potential. As Jay reached his apartment door, he took a deep breath. A new chapter was about to begin, and he was ready for whatever strange adventures awaited him on this incredible space station. The apartment was small, but efficiently designed, with surfaces that could transform and adapt to different needs. Jay had been walking around, familiarizing himself with the space, when his landlady suddenly appeared without warning. Kira Volax was not like any being Jay had encountered before. Her body was a complex arrangement of shifting colors and multiple limbs. Her primary communication happened through a small translation device attached near what humans would consider her shoulder region. She had come for a routine inspection, her 6 rotating eyes examining every corner of the living space. Her movement was fluid, almost like liquid flowing through the room. Each of her 4 arms could move independently, creating a mesmerizing dance of motion. "Everything must be standard," she announced, her translator creating a mechanical but clear sound. "Station regulations require complete verification of new tenant spaces." Jay stood quietly watching her move. He knew from his pre-assignment training that interrupting an alien inspection could be considered extremely rude. Different species had different cultural protocols, and humans were expected to be respectful. Suddenly, Kira's movement stopped. Her eyes, all 6 of them, focused intensely on Jay. Something had caught her attention. Her color began changing rapidly, shifting from a calm blue to an alarming shade of red and purple. "What is that?" she shouted, one of her arms pointing directly at Jay's lower body. Jay looked down, completely confused. From his perspective, nothing unusual was happening. He was standing normally, wearing standard station attire. Kira's translator began producing a series of rapid, confused sounds. It was clear that something about Jay's physical structure had completely shocked her. Her multiple eyes were spinning faster, changing colors in a pattern that suggested extreme surprise and potential biological confusion. "Human anatomy is different," Jay tried to explain calmly. "This is normal for my species." But Kira was not listening. She continued staring, her translation device now producing what seemed like a mix of scientific curiosity and complete bewilderment. The room's environmental controls seemed to respond to her emotional state, with lights flickering and temperature slightly changing. Other station residents began to gather outside the apartment. The commotion had attracted attention. Creatures with tentacles, crystalline bodies, and floating energy forms all tried to peek inside, curious about what could cause such a reaction from Kira. Jay felt increasingly uncomfortable. He had been trained for cultural interactions, but this situation was rapidly moving beyond any scenario in his preparation materials. How does one explain basic human biology to a being who might have completely different physiological understanding? Kira's arms were now moving in complex patterns, which her translator interpreted as a mix of shock, scientific inquiry, and what seemed like mild horror. "Is this a weapon? A biological anomaly? A hidden communication device?" she kept asking. The station's communication systems began to pick up the disturbance. Automated alerts started flashing in various sectors, indicating an unusual biological encounter. Dr. Sung Kim, the station's lead xenobiologist, was quickly notified. His preliminary scans and initial reports suggested this might be the most interesting human-alien interaction in recent station history. Jay, still standing quietly, realized that his first week on the station was not going to be anything like he had planned. What seemed completely normal to him was creating an unprecedented level of confusion and excitement. The gathering crowd outside continued to grow. Whispers and translation devices created a complex background noise of speculation and curiosity. Humans were known to be adaptable, but this particular human was becoming a center of unexpected attention. Kira's color continued changing, her arms moving in complex patterns that suggested a mix of scientific curiosity and cultural shock. Her translator device kept producing a stream of confused questions and observations. "Humans are strange," she finally announced, her translator creating a sound that was closest to human laughter. "Very, very strange." Jay could only smile awkwardly, knowing that his simple arrival on the station had just become something much more complicated than a routine maintenance assignment. Little did he know, this was just the beginning of an adventure that would challenge everything the station knew about human biology, adaptability, and the unexpected potential of a seemingly ordinary species. Dr. Sung Kim's research laboratory was a marvel of technology. Holographic displays danced with complex biological data, while advanced scanning equipment hummed with quiet precision. When Jay entered, he felt like he was walking into a space more advanced than anything on Earth. "Please stand still," Dr. Kim instructed, his voice calm and professional. Multiple scanning beams began moving around Jay's body, creating intricate light patterns that mapped every millimeter of his physical structure. The other researchers in the lab were a diverse group. Some looked humanoid, others were pure energy forms, and a few seemed to be living machines. They watched Jay with intense curiosity, their various sensory organs focused on the human specimen. Jay understood he was more than just a patient. He was a subject of scientific exploration. Humans were still a relatively new species in the galactic community, and every interaction was an opportunity for research. Dr. Kim's primary assistant, a crystalline being named Zara, manipulated the holographic displays. Complex genetic sequences and biological maps appeared, showing Jay's internal systems in stunning detail. Colors shifted from blue to green, indicating different levels of biological activity. "Fascinating," Dr. Kim muttered, more to himself than to anyone else. Completely standard human biological configuration, yet producing such significant station-wide interest. The scanning process continued. Advanced sensors measured everything from cellular structure to potential genetic variations. Jay felt like he was simultaneously being examined and celebrated. Station communication systems began collecting data. Every scan, every observation was being recorded and analyzed. What seemed ordinary to Jay was extraordinary to these advanced scientific minds. Zara approached Jay, her crystalline body refracting light in complex patterns. "We have many questions," she said, her translation device creating a soft, melodic sound. "Your species continues to surprise us." The other researchers began discussing Jay's biological structure. Their communication was a mix of visual signals, color changes, and complex translation devices. To an outside observer, it would have looked like a strange dance of information exchange. Dr. Kim zoomed into a particular genetic sequence. Something about Jay's basic human DNA was creating significant excitement. The researchers started comparing his genetic map with thousands of other species' records. "Adaptability," Dr. Kim explained to Jay, "is your species' most interesting characteristic. Where other species require specific environmental conditions, humans can survive in multiple challenging environments." Jay listened, feeling both proud and slightly uncomfortable. He was being studied like a rare scientific specimen, yet the researchers treated him with respect and genuine scientific curiosity. The laboratory's environmental controls adjusted continuously. Different scanning beams explored Jay's physical structure, measuring everything from bone density to cellular regeneration rates. Each discovery seemed to create more questions. Station-wide communication began spreading news about the research. Other species started showing interest. Reports of a unique human specimen began circulating through various communication networks. Zara continued her detailed analysis. Her crystalline body moved around Jay, collecting data through multiple sensory mechanisms. "Your biological structure suggests incredible evolutionary potential," she observed. Dr. Kim nodded in agreement. "Humans are not the strongest, not the fastest, not the most technologically advanced, but your ability to adapt, to survive, to solve problems, that is your true strength." The other researchers agreed. Visual signals and color changes indicated their collective fascination. Jay represented more than just an individual. He was a symbol of human potential. As the scanning continued, Jay realized he was participating in something bigger than himself. He was helping other species understand humanity's unique characteristics. Every movement, every biological response was a lesson in human adaptability. The laboratory hummed with scientific excitement. Holographic displays continued their complex dance, revealing layers of biological information. Jay stood at the center, a living example of human complexity. "We have much to learn," Dr. Kim finally announced, turning off the scanning equipment. "Much to understand." Jay could only smile. His simple maintenance assignment had transformed into something far more significant, a moment of interstellar scientific discovery. The news spread faster than light across the galaxy. A human named Jay Park had become an unexpected sensation, a biological curiosity that captured the imagination of multiple star systems. Diplomatic channels buzzed with excitement. Representatives from different planetary governments requested detailed reports about this unusual human. Some wanted scientific data, while others seemed more interested in sensational rumors. Jay discovered he was now more than just a maintenance worker. He had become an unintentional galactic celebrity. Wherever he walked through the station's corridors, alien beings would stop and stare, whispering among themselves. Communication networks began broadcasting wild speculations. Some reports suggested Jay was a secret biological weapon. Others claimed he represented a new form of human. Evolutionary development. The truth was far more mundane, but nobody seemed interested in that. The Galactic Council scheduled an emergency meeting. Representatives from over 50 different star systems gathered to discuss the human phenomenon. Holographic displays showed Jay's medical scans, genetic structure, and preliminary research findings. Ambassador Krell from the Orion Confederation spoke first. "We demand complete biological reports," his translation device announced. "This human represents an unknown variable in our understanding of sentient species." Station Commander Ilara Wren tried to maintain diplomatic calm. She understood how quickly misunderstandings could escalate in interstellar politics. "This is a standard human," she explained repeatedly. "Nothing extraordinary." But nobody was listening. Alien delegations began requesting strange meetings with Jay. Some wanted physical examinations. Others proposed complex cultural exchange programs. A few even suggested genetic sampling for potential hybridization research. Jay found himself shuttled between different research stations, diplomatic chambers, and scientific laboratories. His original maintenance assignment seemed like a distant memory. He was now a living scientific specimen, a diplomatic curiosity. The most bizarre requests came from the Quantum Collective, a group of energy-based life forms who communicated through complex mathematical equations. They wanted to understand human biological flexibility through a series of increasingly complex tests. Station security increased. Jay was now considered a potentially significant diplomatic resource. Every movement was tracked, every interaction analyzed. What had started as a simple work assignment had transformed into an interstellar incident. Conspiracy theories emerged. Some claimed Jay was a specially designed human prototype. Others suggested he represented a new form of biological intelligence. The more mysterious the speculation, the faster it spread across communication networks. Alien media outlets began producing sensational reports. "Human revolutionizes galactic understanding," screamed one headline. "Mysterious biological anomaly discovered," proclaimed another. Most reports were more fiction than fact. Dr. Sung Kim tried to provide scientific clarity. "This is a standard human," he repeated in multiple scientific conferences. Nothing extraordinary about his biological structure. But his voice was lost in the growing wave of excitement. Jay found the entire situation both amusing and terrifying. He was simultaneously a celebrity and a scientific subject. Random aliens would approach him, requesting strange interactions or simply staring in fascination. The Horizon Station's communication systems worked overtime, managing the flood of incoming requests and speculative reports. What had begun as a simple maintenance worker's arrival had become a galactic sensation. Kira Volax, the alien landlady who first discovered Jay's unusual characteristics, became an unexpected media personality. Her initial shocked reaction was replayed across multiple communication networks, making her a reluctant participant in the unfolding drama. Diplomatic protocols became increasingly complex. Each star system wanted exclusive access to information about this human. Research proposals, cultural exchange requests, and scientific studies flooded the station's communication channels. Jay realized he was no longer just an individual. He had become a symbol, a representation of human potential in a vast, complex galactic community. His simple human existence had somehow transformed into something much larger than himself. As the galactic misunderstanding continued to grow, Jay could only watch, smile, and wonder how a routine maintenance assignment had turned into the most unexpected adventure of his life. The galaxy waited, watching, speculating, and dreaming about the possibilities represented by this one ordinary human. The station's central power core began to malfunction without warning. Alarms blared in multiple alien languages, creating a chaotic symphony of impending disaster. Thousands of beings from different star systems watched in growing panic as critical systems started to fail. Jay happened to be near the engineering section when the first warning signals appeared. His basic maintenance training, combined with years of practical experience on Earth, kicked into high gear. While other species seemed frozen in confusion, he began analyzing the problem systematically. The power core was a complex mechanism designed to support multiple environmental requirements. It regulated gravity, atmospheric composition, radiation shielding, and life support for hundreds of different species. A complete failure would mean instant death for thousands of inhabitants. Most advanced alien technicians were struggling. Their specialized training worked perfectly in standard scenarios, but this was a complex multi-system breakdown. Their sophisticated tools seemed useless against the rapidly escalating technical crisis. Jay's approach was different. He didn't see complicated alien technology. He saw a system that needed basic problem solving. Using simple tools and intuitive understanding, he began making quick practical adjustments. His hands moved with a combination of careful precision and urgent speed. Station Commander Ilara Wren watched in stunned silence. The human maintenance worker was doing what her most advanced technical teams couldn't, stabilizing the failing systems through pure practical intelligence. The quantum stabilizers required a specific recalibration sequence. Alien technicians had been attempting complex mathematical calculations. Jay simply used a combination of mechanical understanding and practical logic, bypassing theoretical approaches. Within minutes, critical systems began recovering. Power levels started stabilizing. Life support mechanisms returned to optimal functioning. What seemed like an impossible technical challenge was being solved by a human using basic problem-solving skills. Alien species watched in collective amazement. Jay wasn't using advanced technology or complex scientific understanding. He was using something far more powerful: human adaptability and practical intelligence. Dr. Sung Kim observed the entire sequence, his scientific mind processing every detail. Humans had always been underestimated in the galactic community. Today, that was changing forever. The station's communication systems began broadcasting Jay's actions. His simple maintenance work was saving thousands of lives across multiple species. What had started as a potential disaster was becoming a moment of unexpected human heroism. Kira Volax, who had once been shocked by Jay's biological structure, now looked at him with complete respect. Her multiple eyes showed a newfound understanding of human potential. As systems fully recovered, a strange silence fell across the station. Alien delegates, scientists, and station inhabitants realized they had witnessed something extraordinary. A simple human had done what their most advanced technologies could not. Station Commander Wren approached Jay, her official demeanor replaced by genuine admiration. "Impressive work," she said simply. Those two words carried the weight of galactic recognition. The Galactic Council's emergency meeting, which had been discussing Jay as a biological curiosity, now transformed. They were no longer discussing a strange human specimen. They were discussing a hero who had saved thousands of lives. Diplomatic channels began reshaping their understanding of humanity. No longer were humans seen as a young, inexperienced species. They were now recognized as potentially crucial galactic partners. Jay, however, remained humble. To him, he had simply done his job. He didn't understand the massive cultural shift he had just created. For him, it was just another day of practical problem-solving. As station life returned to normal, something had fundamentally changed. The way alien species viewed humans would never be the same. One maintenance worker had demonstrated the true power of human adaptability, intelligence, and practical problem-solving. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Never underestimate how humans' ability to solve complex problems with simple, practical intelligence. Jay returned to his small apartment, completely unaware that he had just changed galactic perceptions forever. Another maintenance shift awaited him tomorrow, and he was ready to face whatever challenges might come.